Greetings, fam. This is Cassandra-Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Child, this stupid ass phone. Let's see. Y'all are gonna have to forgive me. I am tired. It is late. Well. All right. Okay. So my name is Cassandra-Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. And this live is going to be short. It's 11:19. I'm tired. I worked all day. I still have jewelry orders I have to fill before I go to bed tonight. And so I promised, though, earlier today that I was going to do a short live at least, addressing the astrological significance of this week. But first, I want to say that my name is Cassandra-Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. So there was a lot going on this last week, as I'm sure you all know. Those of you who still celebrate Thanksgiving, shame on you, first of all. But I'm not going to clown you on this event. That week was very big and, as it always is, and people going home and traveling and whatnot. And in the busyness of that week, I feel like energetically I kind of dropped the ball. Like I went really hard on my marketing. Y'all gonna have to forgive me. I'm starving. You feel me? I haven't eaten since breakfast, and that was minuscule. Anyway, I went hard on my marketing for my jewelry business because I've been making so much new stuff that it completely slipped my mind to equally market for my healing business and for the readings. So even though it is way past the date, I'm going to, now y'all will see it. I'll start marketing the same way that I did on YouTube, my Facebook, whatever. I'll start marketing discounts for readings and discounts for my healing services. So if you need a reading, a divination, or if you need to do a wellness consultation or what have you. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm tired. But tomorrow morning, first thing, I'll get up and I'll start doing the marketing for discounts, late Black Friday, Cyber Monday discounts for divination and for wellness consultation. Okay. So look forward to that. Thank you to those of you who actually took advantage of my Cyber Monday sales for my jewelry. I have a ton of jewelry orders that I have to fill over the next few days. So thank you for that. I am donning new earrings that I made. I went to this like, it was like one of these shops around here that are like secondhand furniture stores, but kind of like upscale, antique furniture kind of places. I found a box full of old chandelier pieces. Look at that. It's real crystal. And I was like, these would be glorious little posh earrings. So these are earrings that I made out of the little chandelier pieces that I found at the secondhand furniture store or this antique furniture store. So they'll be up on my website in a day or two. I just have to take some nice daytime pictures. But I thought I would don those for the live tonight. And yeah. So if you look, thank you so much, Java Watson. Girl, you're so wonderful. It's like every time I go live, you are going to make a donation. And I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you so much. I really, really do. Because yeah, I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for that. So in the description for this live, I posted 3 videos that I encourage you to watch soon, like tonight, tomorrow, that soon. Because today, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th are extremely important astrologically. What I'm going to be telling you is going to be a very, very super condensed Afro-Indigenous perspective on what is in the 3 videos that I linked in the description. I keep telling y'all, I will continue to tell you until I'm freed up, until I am freed up economically to be able to learn more shit. I'm not an astrologer. Everything that I have to say about astrology is through the perspective and worldview of a woman who identifies as African Indigenous. You understand? That is acknowledging my Western Hemispheric Indigenous roots and my West African Indigenous roots. Okay. And so I have not studied astrology in the official way, right? I talk about astrology 99.9% of the time from an African, specifically a Yoruba, West African worldview. Okay. So you will hear me often talk about the planet Pluto as the goddess Oya. You will often hear me talk about Aquarius, the house that she has just transitioned into. You will often hear me talk about Aquarius as the god Shango. Okay. So, thank you, Janet Kennedy. Yeah, I think they turned out kind of cute too. I was like, ooh, and I got all kinds of shades. I got the long pointy ones. I got the cute little teardrop ones. So y'all gonna see a lot of stuff coming down the pike. I spent a whole day obsessing about a new project, driftwood sun catchers, using my little crystals as the like weighted hangers for my little what you call it, driftwood sun catchers. So those are coming. But yeah, I think they're like subtle and dashing at the same time. Love, and not heavy. Very lovely. Anyway, so with that being said, this week I took a gang of notes, but y'all stay in my sheet. I'm gonna be honest. Y'all be staying in my sheet. Like, y'all be staying in my sheet. So I got last week this the gauntlet thrown at my ass about this damn movie y'all all in your feelings about. This damn what you call this shit? Wicked, right? And this sister was like, you gotta see the shit. You gotta do a live about it. And so next week is when I'm going to be doing at least the first session around Wicked, because I've already taking 5 pages of goddamn notes around this movie. I will say, however, there is this there is this young man who I didn't anticipate talking about it, but anyway, let me just keep it moving. All right, so let's talk about this week and why these 3 days, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th, are so paramount. Okay, so the woman that I am referencing for this very brief astrological overview for the week is Lori. What's her last name? Lori Lothian or Lothian. Lori Lothian. Okay. Her YouTube channel is Lunatic Astrology. Her channel is Lunatic Astrology. I reference her a lot. I really like her channel, especially so her videos, like I said, over the last 14 days, she has released 3 videos that you must see. Okay. When she's talking about the nodes of the fates, y'all need to see that video. When she is talking about this week, which is she entitles the 2009 UFO prophecy, y'all need to watch this video at least, especially the first 30 minutes, or go right to your signs. So after she does like an overview of the world at large, she goes sign by sign, which she has documented, like broken down into chapters for each sign. Go to your sign. She focuses a lot on the significance of the rising sign, but I always go to my rising, my sun, and my moon when I go to her page to find out what's the 411. You feel me? So Neptune, let's see. So let me just go through the bullet points really quick. So the whole reason for this overview that she did was about this prophecy that was made in 2009 by this man named Cliff High. I have been hearing about him for about 4 years from a friend of mine, Kevin Sandblum. Cliff High became really like popular, if you will, because he created in 1999, he created this like Webbot that was supposed to be, to this day, people believe that the Webbot is predictive. And what this Webbot does is, this was before like algorithms were popular and shit like that. He was doing this way before then, but trying to explain it, the Webbots that he created literally scour the internet for like patterns based on people's conversations, like based on like what people are searching, based on people's conversation, all kind of shit. Like these bots scour the entirety of the World Wide Web. And because, according to Cliff High, human beings represent a singular conscious entity, and within that singular conscious entity are what essentially we could refer to as like our synaptic activity. This synaptic, this like worldwide web synaptic activity that function that basically sees all human thought and communication as having the ability to predict events is the basis for this Webbot. Now this is real deep. Now, Kevin been talking to me for a while. Now the predictive is really interesting, but the predictive mechanism used by the bots has been so accurate at like identifying human patterning in relationship to what they're discussing that people on the stock market, people who are into Bitcoin, were using his idea, his works, and so on and so forth to be able to maneuver around like money, the stock market particularly, and cryptocurrency, being able to see the patterns of buying and selling stocks and what have you based on the lunar cycles. Like this dude had this shit down to a mathematical precise science, this predictive aspect of these bots. Well, apparently in 2009, before Trump was even considering, I mean, this is 2009, he was still doing that, like, television show or whatever. Joe Rogan was a nobody in the industry, right? In 2009, this Webbot made a prediction that everybody is talking about this week astrologically. In 2009 now, the Webbot made a prediction that when Donald Trump is interviewed on Joe Rogan's podcast, it will be exactly 39 days from the time that he is interviewed to an invasion, right, of aliens that will be in a conflict that he entitled a UFO prophecy space battle. So this week, Cliff High and Donald Trump and Joe Rogan has been trending because 38 days ago, approximately, Joe Rogan on his podcast interviewed the president of the United States. Okay. What her position was, based on this predictions, based on this information, we could expect to see a revelation. Greetings, everyone. We could expect to see a revelation, like a big one. Like some people have talked about how over the last 2 weeks, excuse me, but I'm starving and I'm going to eat, okay? Over the last 2 weeks in particular, but over the last 3 months, there have been reports, constant, multiple reports of UFO sightings over Washington, D.C. This has been happening for a little while. And apparently, last week, there was this whole big, I forget what you call it, but like a special session in the White House specifically about unidentified flying objects and close encounters and so on and so forth, right? And that these movements this week, which are many, Mercury is in retrograde, Mars is in retrograde, Neptune is in retrograde, but Neptune is going to be stationing direct on the 7th. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction in the Pluto in Aquarius apparently is huge. It is representative. That's why I called the live what I did, the Clash of Civilizations. And she said that this level of clash of, quote, civilizations is indicative, we've talked about this for 4 years, of this movement of Pluto into Aquarius, and that the last time that it happened, there were these multiple clashes, simultaneous clashes of civilization, i.e., Martin Luther nails his 95 Thesis to the wall of the German Catholic Church, kicking off the Protestant Reformation, which permanently changed the face of, quote, Christian religion. Also, at the same time, the Pontiac Wars were kicked off in this rebellion of, what's his name? Tupac Amaru and Peru against the Spaniards. That too is happening. The same thing was happening out here on the West Coast, where the Spanish missionaries were dropping missionary, like churches all over the southern region of California in an attempt to maintain a stranglehold, a permanent stranglehold on the population. Okay. This now, because the difference was, however, the last time Pluto transitioned into Aquarius, that period of time, 1518-ish, right? There were other astrological movements that were not in play. These astrological movements that are in play during this first period, the first 2 years of Pluto in this transition that's going to last until 2044, are significant in that they have the potential to produce something we've never seen. Okay. Now I want to say some things. And again, I struggle because I am not a scientifically trained astrologer. But again, with my own peculiar African indigenous worldview and how I see the planets, the stars, the moons, the mythologies around all of them through an African lensed worldview, when she's talking, we're in the age of Aquarius. This is it. It's official, right? With us being in the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius being like the upper firmament, right? Aquarius being the water bearer that pours out the waters of consciousness, the waters of heaven over the whole planet, right? And that type of shit. When she was talking about, and she also does a lot about the asteroids, which I really like. I didn't realize how significant the asteroids were in our astrological chart. And she goes deep into the astrological significance of androids and their movements and their mythologies. I ain't gonna do a deep dive in here. I'm literally just translating what she put forward in these 3 videos that I linked in the description, and my particular worldview about what could be other possibilities for these movements. The reason why is because everybody that is an astrologer in this period is screaming from the hilltops all things doom and gloom. And that's not what our mother came here to do. Okay? She's like, y'all done suffered enough. Let me get up in here and change this shit once and for all. So the doom and gloom shit that these astrologers are doing, I'm not with it. So I'm constantly looking for the angle that nobody is approaching about the complete and total mythologies of these astrological anomalies. Okay. So there are 3 different asteroids that are in play in this scenario right now. Asteroid Child, Asteroid Urania, and actually it might just be the 2. Asteroid Child and Asteroid Urania. There was another one, but I wrote it down in my phone because I had to get busy, and so I was taking notes on my phone. I forget the 3rd one, but anyway, so these 2, Asteroid Child and Asteroid Urania, are really significant. So let's talk a little bit about why. All right. So first of all, there's going to be a 6 planetary alignment this week. This whole month is like full of astronomical and astrological occurrences. There is going to be a meteor shower on, I think it's the 17th, the brightest one of the year. Let's see. Asteroid Urania was a muse, one of the 9 muses who governed astronomy, music, song, dance, and space. And then Asteroid Child. So there's another asteroid. I cannot remember. I thought I wrote it down. But anyway, that particular asteroid is around the home and hearth. And within the context of child asteroid or asteroid child, right? Asteroid child. She focused a lot on grays. So like the aliens that look like children. They are short, right? They got big heads. So she focused a lot on asteroid child being indicative of maybe because of the overall predictions for this week about us collectively coming to accept through evidence that aliens are real and among us. She called them our space brethren will be known. That was a quote. But they may be known to us through battle. She said because she went back in history at these different Pluto placements, and there's actual graphs available about the time in recent human history, like the last 200 or 300 years, where whenever the world was at serious stages of war, particularly the last 100 years with the advent of nuclear threat and war, that whenever humans were on the brink of something catastrophic, there would be a sharp increase in UFO extraterrestrial contact, right? And we are at that point now. Because and she started her whole thing out with this prophecy, if you will, this prediction by the Webbots of Cliff High, saying that as soon as you see Trump being interviewed by Joe Rogan, 39 days out or so, there is going to be a mass revelation concerning UFOs and extraterrestrials. Okay, whatever. But for me, because of the other mythology inherent in these movements, I started thinking of it because she also talked about the fact that Aquarius is an air sign. All of these different major movements are happening within this air sign, whatever. So this thing was like, yes, it's got to be UFOs. But does it have to necessarily just be UFOs? That's what because that's what everybody's talking about. The government's talking about, other governments are talking about, everybody on the ground is talking about. It's got to be UFOs. It's got to be UFOs. But for me, I automatically thought about what we did on that damn mountain 2 weeks ago. What did I say? When we open our mouth and we speak, according to Barbara Walker in the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets, we, known as the miasm, what a woman speaks out of her mouth creates an energetic spiritual, quote, pollution, right? When we open, called a miasm, which exists forever, right? And I was telling y'all that we have to take that understanding and do it in its opposite, right? That if our voices are able to generate generational curses based on our hurt and harm, how can we harness that same energy to cast a spell of hope and certainty on the planet? How can, like in the 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston, oh ugly ass, you feel me? And the Passover and all that shit, calling down an angel of death to kill the firstborn of all the Egyptians. How can we counter that? How can we create an angel of life using our voice? Where? In the air, in the upper firmament. How can we cast a spell of life on humanity that just as quickly as the angel of death killed all these babies, we can just as quickly disseminate a conspiracy of healing and happiness, a exorcism, a global exorcism of the madness that plagues the masses, right? Y'all remember me talking about that, right? As soon as I hear this woman talking about the significance of these things happening rapidly because we are in an air sign age, That was the first thing I thought about. I didn't think about extraterrestrials. I thought about what we did on that damn mountain and how for the last 2 weeks we have been seeing like undeniable, virtually creepy evidence that we were heard when we opened our mouths at the same time up on that mountain. That's what I thought about. I thought about when she talked about Asteroid Child and the significance that it was playing over this next week in particular, but over the whole month. And she was like, yeah, well, I think this might be indicative of like the grays because they kind of look like babies or whatever. That's not what I thought about. And it didn't move me when she said that. What I did think about was what we did on that damn mountain and how can we don't get triggered. How can we function as the Pied Pipers to children? How can we use our voice? How can we use this analogy? How can we use what we know to speak to the hearts of children and young people where we are facing such opposition from adults, people who are hardwired in their conditioning, people who are hardwired to when things get despairing and dooming and glooming, we got to go back to the church. We got to go back to the Lord. We got to go back to Allah or Muhammad or whoever the hell, Yahweh or whatever the fuck, right? That when people become fearful, they go back to the origins of their conditioning. They do, right? And how can we, instead of having to try to focus our energy on these old heads that cannot hear and are beefing back and forth about my religion and your religion and my religion and your religion, how can we, and Sister Lolita started that process where she published, this is one of our followers, published a children's book that I bought for my grandbabies, like stuff like that. How can we start creating an image of a future that is certain, a future that is wonderful, a future that is harmonious, and start planting this as a seed of certainty in young people, creating music, creating art, writing kids books, creating new lullabies and what do we call it? What do we call children's songs? Like not just lullabies, like what's the word I'm looking for? You know, like ring around the rosy, right? How do we create a whole new culture of children's songs that are not based in a history of despair? We hear that all the time. How children's fairy tales, children's stories, children's little sing-songy things, nursery rhymes, thank you. Children's nursery rhymes are all centered primarily in these horrible periods in the history of Europe. Ring Around the Rosie being about the bubonic plague, you know what I'm saying? What's the other one? The woman with all the babies in the shoe. I can't remember any of these things, but you know, the baby, and Little Miss Muppet and all, and what's the other one? Jack and Jill Went Up the Hill. These are like terrible, terrible, terrible stories based in periods in human, is particularly in periods in European history that were really despairing and all of that shit, right? How do we, and we all sing them hundreds of years after Europeans done left them circumstances to come over here and find themselves, a shiny new way at the expense of others. Hundreds of years later, we still singing these terrible songs that are an acknowledgement of these terrible periods in history in Europe. This is the kind of shit that we need to be doing. Like, we spinning our wheels trying to debate, you feel me, grown-ups about, Marxism and Leninism and socialism and capitalism and all of this shit, right? Okay, fine, if you still want to spin your wheels doing that. Or we get in these great debates about religion, you know what I'm saying? Cool if you want to spin your wheels doing that. I'm still going to go off on that shit because it is the scourge of the earth. It is the plague of the age, these religions. However, I can talk to y'all about these things, but how do we plot together while we are simultaneously destroying the edifices of the old age and giving birth to the promise of the future? How do we do that if we are not literally singing the future into existence, targeting the hearts of children. What are the new nursery rhymes for young people? What is the thing that is going to, every time they open their mouth and they're young, in their young self, spinning and spewing their ashe, what are they creating when they open their mouths to sing nursery rhymes or ABCs or whatever? You feel me? What are the songs? What are the books? What are the fairy tales? What are the like new mythologies that we are creating in real time? So while we're simultaneously destroying the edifices of the old, we are giving birth to a certain future, to a glorious and wonderful definitive future. Okay, so that's what I was thinking about, because that's all air sign age shit that I'm talking about. While she talking about little baby grays and all of this stuff, I'm like, I don't feel like that's what it's about. Like, I don't have any problem with the belief in extraterrestrials or anything like that. I talk to y'all about it relatively often, but I just don't feel like that's what it is. I feel like, again, when we're talking about UFOs, it's no different to me in my mind than the escapism that exists in each of us that has us looking elsewhere for a solution, whether it's Jesus or whether it's God or whether it's the great cosmic mother in some ambiguous, disconnected, out away from us kind of thing. I feel like this whole discussion around UFOs and extraterrestrials, all hype this week, is that same shit. It's still the same old regular ass escapism attempting to siphon your power, emotionally mine your emotions, while at the same time keeping you distracted around the purpose for the mining of your emotions. I do not think that, and I am willing to be wrong. Like, that I don't have any stakes in this shit. But when she was talking about this stuff and the Webbot predictions and all that, none of it resonated with me. None of it made me none of it made my hair stand. There were no signals that this was where it was, what she was talking about, right? Then Urania, the other asteroid, who is a representation, at least in her mythology, of extreme charisma, what they call Dionysian charisma, the healing potential of beauty, the persuasive sex appeal, the power of love, particularly unity, the healing power of sexuality, love generating miracles, primal art and beauty expressed, profound artistic gifts, creative potency, and extraordinary passion. That's what this week is about. So even though Urania, the muse, right, is the goddess of astronomy and space, she is also the goddess of music, song, and dance. And she just totally bypassed that in her breakdown about what to look for this week. Like, it was really the focus on astronomy and space because of these other astrological movements and this prediction by Cliff High, Webbots or whatever. But I was like, how you just skip over the significance of song, music, and dance, the healing power of sexuality? I was like, oh shit, this might be confirmation that I need to start my porn business. I'm just saying, my goddess centered, goddess theology centered porn. In how do we create erotica that is indicative of human evolved sexuality in an age where oppression no longer exists? What does that erotica look like? What do those stories look like? Can we create that now, even as it doesn't exist? What does human sexuality look like in the absence of oppression? What do your passionate desires, what do your kinks look like when oppression is removed from the planet? Can we create that kind of erotica? Right? And so I'm telling y'all, I've been meditating on this shit for a hot minute. And then I hear this woman talking about what is standing out. There is a Pluto-Venus conjunction this week at 22 degrees and 22 degrees. This is the Fool card. The Fool plants the seed for your future, particularly for the next 2 years, right? Whatever you plant this week, particularly on the 7th, whatever you plant this week is going to be blooming and thriving for the next 2 years. What seeds are we planting? Are we planting collectively doom and gloom because that's what's been foisted upon our heads through the narrative of modern media and news? Or are we bypassing the noise and saying, look, yo, we ain't talking about, I mean, cool if aliens show up, you know what I'm saying? Okay, cool, it's about damn time. But if they don't, what does this mean? What does it represent? This move in this air sign age that's dynamic. We've only been in it now, 2 weeks now since November 19th. What does this mean in real time? So Pluto is conjunct Venus on the 7th, which is huge. That's what she spent the majority of her time talking about, is the significance of this very rare conjunction. One, because it is happening within the nodes of fate, which she spends a lot of time talking about, and within the eye of the eagle, like it's a whole constellation of the eye of the eagle, right? And so those are the big takeaways. This powerful energy, this Dionysian charisma. What the hell is Dionysian charisma? Dionysus was worshipped through girl, what do you want? Dionysus was worshipped through what? Wild orgiastic sex and an illumination through the consumption primarily of mushrooms. And the mushrooms were called what? The body of Christ. The mushrooms during the age of Dionysus was called the body of Christ, the body of the Savior, the body of Christ. So they would, quote, get mad off wine, but the mushrooms were like distilled in the wine. So the wine had psilocybin in it, right? And so the wine on the vine that they talk about that drove women to madness in Dionysian ceremony was because they were taking mushrooms in the wine and performing orgiastic rites to descend into ceremonial madness. You understand? And so Dionysian charisma, all the way back to what? The power of love and unity, the healing power of sexuality, how love in all its manifestations in this period will always generate miracles, primal art and beauty, profound artistic gifts. You understand? The creative potency of the period, defined by passion and persuasive sex appeal, the healing power of beauty itself. Okay? Hold on. Black women were the first on this planet, so we are back or have reawakened. Yes. The nursery rhymes about Harriet Tubman. Come on, and the North Star. Like, yes. Shy Boy Shades, I love that. You feel me? Yes, I love that. The doom and gloom is the end of their world, and they have others believing that all are one. That's madness. Yes, you feel me? So these are the assignments that we have to be taking on as our personal mission. What are the new fairy tales? What are the new songs? How do we take advantage of Dionysian charisma in a way that we can heal the world through sexuality and convince people that love will always generate miracles? How do we do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, this woman, and I'm gonna tell you, like, I took other notes, but they're on my phone because I'm gonna end this soon. But watch at least one of the 3 links that I put in the description below. Watch them, because again, We have to be creating a new language and a new narrative. So while I will watch other people, I am still fully sitting in my particular and peculiar worldview to be able to extract from the primary narrative what is the mother's message in what it is I'm watching. What are the angles that we are missing? Let me see if there was something else in here I wanted to talk to y'all about. When she talked about the potential for aerial battles upon realizing, through evidence, through mass. Cut it out. Stop scratching on my chair, man. Go about your life. She talking about us all at one time being made aware once and for all the aliens are real, that our quote space brethren will be known to us, right? Cool. And she's talking about, because of the air sign age and these other movements, what did she call it? She is convinced that this will present itself in quote aerial battles. Well, what are other ways that aerial battles can take place? Anyone? What are other ways that aerial battles can take place? I just alluded to it 10 minutes ago or so. Nobody? What is another way that aerial battles can take place? Thank you, Lisa J. Thank you, Lisa J. What we say out of our mouth into the air that contends with what is polluting the air. Ooh. That contends with what's polluting the air. What do we say a miasm was? A miasm is a spiritual pollution that literally pollutes the air and follows us from generation to generation. The miasm that has been created by the war gods of human society. That's the miasm. Taking our energy, taking our science, taking our history, doing the same in opposition to solidify possession and domination over humanity. We have to seize back our power. So when I talked to y'all a couple of hours ago, ranting and raving in my car about this bullshit with what's his name? Thomas, whatever the hell his name is, something Thomas, Brian Thompson. Understand? And all these black skinned people talking about praying for his family and all of that shit. That's what I mean. When they took advantage of our ancient mystery, our ancient magic, and then used the shit against us, used us to use the shit against us. Now, this is the uncasting of the spell. This is an aerial battle. What we did up on that mountain on the 19th, that was an aerial battle. Us speaking out loud, yelling out loud, dancing loud, in opposition to all that is, in opposition to all that has been. That is an aerial battle. That was the first thing I thought about. So, being able to take what someone is saying and apply it to your very specific and peculiar worldview. So, girl, you doing the most. What you want? Extra. Child, this cat. Extra. Come here. Oh, extra cell. And she'll let me hold her about a half a second. Doing all that. Anyway, I'm tired. I'm going. But I did want to give y'all that. So for those of you who came on late, what I'm going to do is first thing tomorrow morning, before I get busy, that's not storm, golden amethyst. That's Tempest, her little wild self. That's Tempest. The gray one is Storm. And he just chilling. He just laid across the couch like he just chilling. But anyway, what I'm gonna do is do a quote late Black Friday, Cyber Monday discount sale for the next probably till Sunday or whatever. Just like I did the jewelry, so that you can get discounts for divination, for wellness consultations. You can also, I'm also going to make it where you can do those as gift cards for others. So if you have family members, loved ones that you want to get a divination, you'll be able to do it the same way. So I'm thinking I'm going to do like a digital gift card or something like that. So if you want to purchase a divination for someone else or complete wellness consultation for somebody else, you'll be able to do that over the next, I'll give it to like, I don't know, a week or whatever. There is still a 25% discount on all of the jewelry on my website between now, I believe, and the 2nd. So I would say take advantage of that. And then you can also make donations to EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. That's on Zelle. EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com through Zelle. Cassandra-Floyd through Venmo, and $daughter-of-the-Fates through Cashapp. So you can make your donations, contributions to the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. I got some big things in the work this month. Let's see what else. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So that's all I wanted to give you, because I can't, like, my brain is on shutdown mode. So I encourage you to go to Lori Lothian. Her YouTube channel is Lunatic Astrology. I really enjoy her page. Both the 30-minute kind of like introduction overview, and then she spends the rest of the time doing a breakdown sign by sign of what to expect over this next period. Okay, so I would say do that. And then let's see, tomorrow is a crazy day. Saturday is a crazy day. Sunday is a crazy day. I don't know, Sunday, maybe. Sunday morning is when I think I might do temple service. I can't do it on Saturday this week because I have my class concert is coming up, my class concert, and then our individual recitals are coming up for my sitar lessons. And so Saturday is completely out of pocket. So Sunday, it looks like Sunday morning will be the day that I do the temple service. And thank you so much, Java Watson, Golden Amethyst. Thank you guys. So anyway, I was going to say something, but I don't remember. But anyway, yes, support the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Do that however you see fit. Making a donation, buying jewelry from my Etsy store, which is also Daughter of the Fates. Purchasing as gifts, Kwanzaa gifts or Christmas gifts for your family, a personal divination. A divination. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Yeah. So it's either going to be Sunday. These next 2 weeks are so crazy. It's either going to be Sunday. Yeah, it's probably going to be Sunday. But the temple service that I'm going to do for this Sunday is a review of this movie I was challenged to watch, which is Wicked. So I'm going to be doing a breakdown of Wicked, maybe, this Sunday. I'll let y'all know if that's not the case, but I think it's going to be Wicked. I've already taken 5 pages of freaking notes on this movie, but it may be that because it's deep. Somebody says I'm still caught up on The Handmaid's Tale. I got issues with it, man. I got struggles with it. You feel me? I really do. I'll watch maybe the first 2 seasons of The Handmaid's Tale. But that whole white feminism thing and how white women cannot empathize with the suffering of others until it happens to them type shit. I just had serious political struggle with that show, because no matter what happened in the show, you know, what's it, Gilead and all of this. I'm like, why are they acting like this fiction? This shit didn't already happen. It's already been real. You understand? Gilead and the deliberate, methodical breeding of humans, and like, why y'all acting brand new? Why y'all acting like this some grand quote dystopian futuristic shit? Because you do not see anybody else's humanity. You do not see the inhumanity of the suffering of Black women who have been forced to do exactly what the women of Gilead was forced to do in this mythology for 300 years, while having to endure your white female rage as it was thrust upon Black bodies of children and women, for which there was no restitution, there was no punishment for the crime, none of that. You feel me? People are so offended by how the women could betray each other. White women have incessantly betrayed women of other colors when their suffering was not directly involved. It's real. Native women being forced to give birth to the offspring of their oppressors. Asian women, Black women, Native women, brown women. Like, why y'all act so surprised? Because y'all can only empathize when the suffering is yours to do. You cannot empathize with the suffering of others unless you can see yourself in the suffering. You feel me? So, yeah, there were aspects of it that I thought were really dope and like, deep. I'll probably have to read the book and like do a deep dive based on the book. But that was the first thing. The consistent thing that stands out is like this need that white women have to constantly play history's perpetual victim, while they literally enthusiastically participated in the victimization of others. You understand? Like, they too, even though they are women, they too have been able to be granted perpetual absolution. And so, yeah. Wicked is a movie. Wicked is a movie. And I watched it, and I have a lot to say about this movie. I have a lot to say about this movie. So like I was saying earlier, it might have to be in 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. You feel me? Yes, Java Watson, that the hell too. Lisa James, email me. Email me at EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. Go ahead and email me, and I will tell you where you can watch that. And now I'm going to go to sleep. I'm tired. I'm going to tell you where you can watch that Lisa James in the morning. Like, I'm literally hanging on by a thread. I worked a lot today. So I'm going to say good night. I'm going to say power up this week. I wish I could give you more, but I'm literally tapped. I'm literally drained. So watch the video links in the description below. Support Lori Lothian. I like her channel. I like her channel a lot. Yeah. So watch those videos. They're good. Take advantage of tomorrow and Saturday, because those are the big game change. But this whole month is just packed with astronomical anomalies that are forever impactful. So get your mantras up. If you have not received the conspiracies from me, email me at EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com so you too can receive the conspiracies and use them as your personal mantras to chant aloud to change the air in the ear sign age nightly or morning, every morning or whatever. So email me and let me know if you need to receive the conspiracies. I think that's it. All right. I love you all. I am so certain of the restoration of our bounty, our wealth, our happiness and wholeness, that in order to receive those things, we have to retrieve them from those who have stolen them. You understand? So the mother's divine will, the mother's definition of justice and judgment is always divine. I am an enthusiastic supporter of my mother's divine will in however it looks and plays out in the material realm. Do you understand? So that being said, I'm gonna tell y'all good night. Love you very much, and I will see you probably Sunday because I have a recital tomorrow and I have practice all day. I'm probably gonna play the sitar for y'all. I don't know. Sometime this weekend, I'm gonna play the sitar for y'all. I've come very far in my practice. Thank you so much for the compliment on my jewelry. So those of you on IG, 20 seconds is about to go dead anyway, so my timing is impeccable. Follow me on my YouTube channel, which is at DaughterOfTheFates, @ DaughterOfTheFates. Those of you on YouTube, everybody, I will see you guys in a few days. Peace.